our third religion. We have begun with Hinduism, Judaism, and this evening, Buddhism, the way of enlightenment. Because the Buddhism is the history of one man's spiritual journey to enlightenment. And this story is the story of Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha Gautama was led from the pain of suffering and rebirth towards the path of enlightenment and became known as the Buddha. Buddha means awakened one, the awakened one. He was born into a royal family in the village of Lumbini, in present-day Nepal, North India, Nepal, and his privileged life insulated him from the suffering of life, sufferings such as sickness, age, and death. This is Siddhartha Gautama. One day, after growing up, marrying, and having a child, Siddhartha went outside the royal enclosure where he lived. When he went outside, he saw each for the first time an old man, a sick man, and a corpse. This greatly disturbed him, and he learned that sickness, age, and death were the inevitable fate of human beings. Siddhartha also seen a monk and decided this was a sign that he should live his protected royal life and live as a homeless holy man. Siddhartha encountered an ascetic, Indian ascetic, who encouraged him to follow a life of extreme self-denial and discipline. Siddhartha followed this life, but this did not satisfy. He still had not to escape from the world of suffering. So for Siddhartha, the problem, his experience was the experience of suffering. So how can we live with suffering? And so he chose another type of life, this middle way. He pursued the middle way, which is just what it sounds like, neither luxury or poverty. One day, seated beneath the Bodhi tree, this is the body, the tree of awakening, a tree of enlightenment, Siddhartha became deeply absorbed in meditation and reflected on his experience of life. He finally achieved enlightenment and became the Buddha. So Buddhism is born in this experience. So this experience of Buddha is the experience of every man. It's possible for every man and woman. And what is the teaching of Siddhartha? There are the Four Noble Truths. He said, I teach suffering, its origin, cessation, and path. That's all I teach. The Four Noble Truths: suffering, cause of suffering, end of suffering, path to end suffering. This is the dukkha, suffering, samudaya, cause of suffering, nirodha, end of suffering, magga, path to end suffering. Suffering includes stress, anxiety, dissatisfaction, fear of loss, frustration. origin of suffering for Buddha, for Siddhartha, we suffer because we cling to people, success, identity, control, expectations, and this freedom, the truth of the end of suffering, this freedom is called nirvana. This is a very important word for Buddhism. Nirvana means inner freedom, clarity, deep peace, release from fear and attachment. How to live nirvana? To the path to end suffering. So the Buddha offers a practical path to live nirvana. This path is called Magga. That means eight noble eightfold path. There are the 8 stages to live nirvana. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentrations. So there are the path to live nirvana. What means this idea? The idea is the same of Hinduism. So our life, the cycle of life is this: birth, life, death, and rebirth. But this is called samsara, like Hindus, samsara. But for Buddhism, rebirth is undesirable. They say because life is marked by suffering. So for Hindus, like Hindus, rebirth is positive because you can live moksha, you can live another life. But for Buddhism, rebirth is undesirable. So the problem Buddhism seeks to overcome is suffering. So the idea for Buddhism is overcome the suffering. Suffering is from the low dukkha. Dukkha is the situation of suffering in our life. It's your reality, it's the truth, dukkha, and you can live nirvana. Nirvana is the state when you extinguish the suffer. You can see that Buddhism is similar to Hinduism. Now we see the differences. Okay. So we can say both Hinduism and Buddhism are agree that samsara involves suffering. So the cycle of life gives you suffering. But suffering and samsara is not the final goal. The final goal is liberation. Liberation means getting out of this cycle. For Hinduism, liberation means discovering who you truly are. And this is a connection with God. For Buddhism, liberation means letting go of the idea of a self. So we can say that Buddhists, they don't recognize, they don't know a God, a divinity. Huh? For Hinduism, the divinity is diffused in many situations, in many steps, in many gods. For Buddhism, the Buddhism is the expression of Hinduism without God. So we can say the question is, Buddhism is a religion, or Buddhism is only is a philosophy. Or we can say is another side of religion, because we will see Judaism, and then Christianity, and then Islam, and there are other sides, other modalities, other styles of religions. Where is diffused Buddhism? Buddhism around the world. So it's born in India, Nepal, and is diffused in the state. Buddhism is state religion, and the majority countries are in Asia. What are the risks or the situation, the possible misunderstandings about the experience of Buddhism? I thought there are four possibilities, four misunderstandings, four risks in this religion, in this experience. So that particularly we in the West, we can think about this. So one risk is the risk of escaping life instead of facing it. Buddhism as a form of escape of life. Life is full of suffer, and so with this religion, with this philosophy, with these meditations, we can escape from life. Second risk is to find in our modality of prayer, to find detachment from the world, detachment from our emotions. And so the risk is detachment can become emotional coldness. The third risk is the risk of self-centered spirituality. So it's not a spirituality of for a community, but is a personal spirituality. And connected with this risk is the risk of passivity toward injustice. Because this modality can lead passivity, silence, detachment from the situation of the world. Probably there are for us the misunderstandings that we will live, but there are the risks to live this spirituality.